Hello, my name is Susanna, and if you haven't been here before, I love doing DIYs and I like everything related to real estate. So, with that in mind, what are we going to do this week? Well, this area of our home was really one of those places that we wanted it to multitask. So, we were thinking of it being a bookshelf, a sort of little bar area, and just like an entertainment zone in general. And with all of these asks in mind, we just knew we weren't going to be able to find something off the rack. And that is why we are building it ourselves this week. So let me show you the plan. What we are basically concerned with is that the kitchen is right next to this build. So it has to be something that matches or like goes along with the essence of what we already have in the kitchen. And this is why we are going to focus on something with darker wood colors because we already have a lot of blacks and greens and just moodier colors in the kitchen. So what we're going to do is clad the bottom part of this wall in wood with a little trim. And this first shelf is going to be our bar area. This little blue part you see is going to be mirrored so it reflects some light and doesn't absorb since we already have so many moody things going on in this wall. And the two shelves at the very top are going to be just regular bookshelves with some lighting. And finally, we're going to paint the top column brown as well so that it kind of all feels like one built-in unit. And that is in essence the plan. So it's not a project if you don't have to make a trip to Home Depot, but funny enough, all we could find there was the trim that's going to go around the bookshelves, and this led us to our first time ever going to a lumber yard. It is awesome. It's cheaper, it's faster, the cuts are free, and they even shave it down for you for free and would 100% go back.
The struggles of a small car. This is how I have to sit so we can get home.
Let me show you the other side. That is my mirror. Can you see it? Oh, all right. We are back from Home Depot, the lumber yard, and Amorcito is moving all the wood we have to cut. Estamos muy cansados del concierto de ayer en la noche, but we can do it. ¡Ay! Alguien se vomitó, guácala. Y la que se vomitó se va de la escena del crimen como si no sabemos que fue ella. It just wouldn't be a real DIY project if we weren't in our DIY outfits. Now we can really start. Te digo cómo es lo que estoy pensando para que veas a qué altura tenemos que medir. Esta quiero que termine abajito de aquí. Las otras dos van a iniciar, entonces quedaría aquí y de aquí 34 libras. Now we're figuring out how to level the level. Does that make sense? I think you'll see it in a little bit.
Pero lo puse en silencio para que no se escuchara mi fondo de quejándome. ¡Esto es mentira!
La cruda eso hizo que no me diera la cruda, pero hoy estoy cruda.
Eres una persona malvada. Y aquí voy otra vez a mi esquinita. Regañada. Regañada por estar cruda.
We had to go on a side quest, and obviously it is nighttime now. So we're not going to finish up tonight, but what we are going to do is what mi amorcito is already doing, and go ahead and stain all of the trim and the board that's going to go on the bottom so that we're just ready to install tomorrow. So we're using Early American because it's a cooler toned color of wood. I figured this color would match the tone of like the grayness and the grain of our kitchen cabinets and like work well since they're going to be sitting next to each other. I think this will complement very well. Welcome back to day 2. We're going to finish up today while watching a game, so I don't think there's going to be any sound to this. We're getting everything ready. We're about to start cutting the boards and then doing that. So let's get to it. Alright, so what you see us doing here is while my husband is cutting down the wood for the shelves at the very top, I am deciding the spacing between each bracket, and then we decided it'd be easier to together mark the holes for each of the brackets and where we would drill into, because nothing in this house is straight, so we had to level as we marked the spacing for the brackets, and it just ended up being easier to do it together.
In a 2007 Super Bowl.
After what seemed like plugging and drilling around 50 holes, we were finally ready to mount the brackets. And here you see the little anxious gremlin that I am. I just couldn't help myself, and I started placing the shelves just to get an idea of what it would look like.
And Mason, even though he's a physical runner, you're not gonna run through some of these really powerful environments that's making these tackles.
By the way, Aaron wasn't kidding, huh? For all the tanks and scooting out in those sunglasses, just let us.
And basically, once we got this last shelf in, it was all smooth sailing after that. Great! And I had never worked with trim before, but I can really understand why people adore it. It just gives it like an instant boost to whatever project you're doing with so little effort. I am a trim girl now. The only thing I will say is filling in those holes and patching it up is quite annoying because there's so many crevices and little nooks you have to sand down, but still worth it for the end effect. Now that we are done with the staining and installing, I'm going to go and protect our work with a sealer. And we're just going to seal all of it so that we can decorate it probably tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it all tonight, but we'll at least have it sealed and ready for tomorrow. You know what? I know it was so naive of me to think that we would be able to decorate that same night we sealed. Obviously, we didn't. We had to wait 24 hours for the sealer to dry. But in the meantime, we got to install this little light. Also took advantage of that day in between the project to carve a cute little pumpkin for our finishing touches as well as Halloween. You know, sometimes you just have to accept that together you are the type of couple that will rearrange books 5 or 6 times before settling on a design. And that is who we are. But we are so happy with how it came out, and it was really worth it. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. We are really liking where we finished at this first week. This is part 1 and where we're gonna leave it off. So hopefully you'll come back next week for the finished product. Okay, bye.